Hello folks, this is Wes Truther from Brighton, BRIGHTEON.com, and Wes Truther on YouTube and Wonderman on YouTube. And I'm going to try to get the links to anywhere that I post and put them in a pinned comment under this video so people will know, because I can't even find Wonderman when I try to do a search. And I got a lot of things that I want to go over this time, and I know my voice must be boring to people. I put people to sleep, and that's not really what I want to do, but the things that I talk about to me are important, and I think they're important enough that many people should know. And they shouldn't just hear it and then let it go. They should think about it a little bit, the things that I say. Most of the things I say, folks, are grown-up stuff. Like, I talk frequently about the shape of the earth, and I didn't always think that the earth was flat, but I had a problem since I was a mason for 46 years. And when you see a plumb bob that can hang down for stories in length and become motionless, a plumb bob, that's one of those heavy pointed things that hangs on a string or a piano wire or something. And I've seen them hanging for stories, 3-4 stories. And a breeze might be blowing and they'll be drifting a little bit, and you got to let it, it has to be perfectly still, because if you want to make a pin mark on a concrete footing, it's got to be perfect straight up and down. So you have to wait for it to quit moving. And if the earth is a round spinning ball, that is a moving platform. You can't build anything plumb, vertically perfect. It won't stay that way if the earth is a spinning globe. And people's perception and their discernment doesn't go far enough for them to reach back into their childhood days and say, they didn't tell me the truth. And I had these doubts through my life, and now I understand why I had the doubts. My common sense was not willing to accept the BS that they were throwing at us. Just like I keep telling people that, in my opinion, the earth is within a frequency force field. Like, we at least have an umbrella or a sphere type of dome that comes all the way down to the surface of the earth, and I'm assuming goes around down under the earth. It could be a flat box with a round top. I mean, it could be a square type of flat earth with a round top. But I'm just saying, think for yourself. Just put it in your head and think about it. Water seeks its own level. Nobody, they even put it on witches movies and stuff and say, oh, if you're a witch, you can make water curve. No experiment has ever been able to curve water if it's setting still. And if it was on a moving earth, water would never set still. I mean, it would be, I could go on and on, but I'll get off the subject, because I know a lot of you don't want to believe that the earth is flat. You're just not ready to, there's certain things that you're just not comprehending. Now, let me ask you this. Do you ever think about the finality of death? The finality. There is a certainty in that. Do you ever think about the finality of death? There is a certainty in that. Without any afterthought. That's it. Everything stops. Things are as they are for the lesser of the slave people. And you folks may not be aware of it, but so many homeless and the poor people who might have not have been homeless because they're sure destroying a lot of poor areas. They have been done away with, and this has been going on for years. I first noticed it in Tennessee. Then I noticed it in Oregon, real serious. I mean, I was still driving then, and I'd go down to town to get groceries, to shop. I'm a home, always been a person staying home, but the homeless people were all over the streets. And then they started to thin down, and somebody approached me and was talking to me. You know, they wanted $1 or something. And they told me the cops was picking up the homeless people. But they weren't coming back from jails like they had been. I mean, some of these people have been homeless in the area for 6 months or a year. And they've seen people get picked up, go to jail 2 or 3 times, and then eventually they're back again. Well, these people they're picking up now are disappearing, and the majority of them are not ever seen again. And they're just, they're done away with. And most that were collected up are now dead. They have had that finality of life. Death has been imposed upon them before their time. And there's no afterthought by them or for them, because people don't care till it happens to them. Wars go on for a long time, folks. I mean, years and years and years. There is wars, Laos. There's wars, Korea. There's just no darn excuse for wars for America. If the countries are going to war with each other, then they should be neighbors. I'm not saying that if they're going to, they should be neighbors, but wouldn't you think it would be neighbors that was warring with each other? Not somebody from across halfway or 2/3 across the earth. What if somebody, a gazillion, what is somebody 5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000 miles away? What have they got to do with what's going on over there? They're meddlesome. They want to be the big boss. That's not normal behavior for humanity. That is irrational. That's selfish. That's bad behavior. The last people to hold out in these places where they are being invaded, they are hunted down. They're hunted down. Mercenaries are hired on to stay there. CIA operatives, special forces remain there to hunt and track down their families, all their work and all their tradesmen, all their tradeship is all destroyed. Their homes, they have no place to live, their habitat. That's what war does. Everything that they knew either doesn't exist anymore, or it is so chaotically upside down that their life their lifetime would not be long enough to put it back together again. Their habitat and military forces and mercenary forces destroy the earth and the water, and they ruin everything, and they starve. These people that are hiding from them, they are starved, and they're hiding. Their homeland is taken from them. Can you grasp what I'm saying? You live in America, I would say the majority of you do. Look at Australia right now. They're using that HARP in Exmouth, Australia, to burn up Australia's forest land and their critters and everything. They are destroying everything, and nobody is shooting them, Nobody's. I don't get it, folks. And then they say, those people over there are not acting like we of the United Nations and the United States want them to act. So we've got to go over there and set things straight. And we're going to do whatever it takes. We're not going to let them. They've got to do as we say, not as we do, but do as we say. And if you don't do as we say, we're going to deal with you. And since America has all of the might and all the money, we're going to do whatever it takes. Don't you hear the military people, the politicians saying, we've got to do this and we're going to do whatever it takes. That's lives. That's money. That's like I told you, all the employees of the entire war machine is about half the working and retired population of the United States. About half. You got to think, whoever makes something that is one product and it is shipped to a place that product is added to other products to create or make or feed something that is part of the war machine. It's linked together. Half the people in this country are killing all of the people in the country and they're getting paid for it. They got no consciences. What's going on, folks? That is some serious mind control. Have some or any of you wondered at how alive I really am? With my knowledge set to perception, with elevated discernment, I know things. I can understand things. I can connect dots. I can figure out things. And I've been doing this all my life. I had questions in my 8th and 9th grade science class and biology class. I liked more than science, but science I had questions. I just didn't agree with a lot of things about the science, and I was like, they kind of laughed at me a little bit. And but I know that one day some of you will remember some of the things that I have said in my messages that I have given to everybody, and everybody that will slow down long enough to give a listen. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Many of the listeners have helped make me feel quite alive. Truly. I want to really thank you for that. I am never full with what I have accepted as truth of life. And I mean, I am near full, but so far, not all the way there. Sorry for the beep. Sorry for my coughing too. But many are living reasonably nice lives, content, and with some comforts. Most of these have little or no knowledge of the very intentional and all-out assault on humanity that's going on. They just don't sense it. They don't fathom it. They don't know about the dentist putting poisons and toxins in your mouth, and doctors doing the same thing, the FDA doing the same thing, the government, the air, the heart, the chemtrails. These people are not aware of the stuff. They go on with the flow. They just go with the flow. Cancer's going up, 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 up. Oh, the doctors are just not as smart as they used to be. They're not finding any cures. More cancers are developing all the time, and they're not finding any cures. And it's just cancer, and it's because the people have a lack of thought follow-through process in their thought process. People lack the ability or the desire to follow through with their thought. They'll go so far, they lose it, they forget it, they stop. GWT.